but TLO, I'm sure, will provide good games.
Absolutely, yeah, but there you go. Pretty happy the bling's gone through without question.
All
That's
right.
good, happy, and here we go. Last
Into the
map.
game we go.
Yep.
So Cloud Kingdom is going to be the final destination between these two players here. Will Team Liquid get a one-up above TSL? Will Polt clean it up? It's all going to be found out on Cloud Kingdom.
Yes, we are. The map of run-bys. Let's see if TLO can take advantage of that. Fortunately, with Bling, as I said, winning that was the last opportunity for TLO to go through, but doesn't mean he's not going to show a great game. So it's Liquid TLO in the blue trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the northeast of the Cloud Kingdom versus his opponent, TSL Polt. He is in the red trunks. He is playing Terran to the southwest.
And as mentioned before the series even got underway, even if TLO knew he wasn't going to advance through, he can still hurt Polt's chances.
Yep.
Imagine if Polt lost this game and then lost versus Bling as well. Polt could be out. He really could be joining TLO down at the bottom of that group. So a very important game now for Polt, who can't make mistakes, cannot lose to a Ling bailing bust there from TLO, and will definitely be covering his tracks, making sure there are no holes in his game, and that he's playing a very solid and safe style. Yeah,
and if you think about it, it's not just malice that would cause you to say, you know what, I want to beat you. It also comes down to the fact that there is a Liquid player who has advanced through and is Hero. Yeah. So it improves Hero's chances if one of the Korean players is knocked out. And TLO's going to try and make that happen.
And Polt exercising his micro and his fingers in that previous game, showing off a little bit with some splits, but overall, I think he kind of knew he lost the game, really.
Well, when you're on 7 SCVs versus about 60 drones, generally speaking, you're going to lose. It just comes down to when. But wear your opponent out. I don't know if Polt is even aware of TLO's kind of history when it comes to carpal tunnel and things like that, but as cruel as it sounds, if he is, then playing a longer game is good for him, because the longer he goes, the more TLO kind of has to strain in order to keep up the pace.
And where TLO really took advantage in that game was actually his creep spread, where that all begun, because that enabled him to get the kills on 2, 3, 4 Hellions on the center while they were on the creep. And having lost the Hellions, you lose map control. You don't see this coming. You don't have the Hellion presence anymore that can push back any Ling attacks early on. So Polt losing those Hellions early on did open up TLO, and wouldn't have even been surprised if TLO was going to play a straight-up game then. But having killed those Hellions, decided, well,
kill him.
He's not going to see this coming. I could kill him now, knowing that the style from Polt does revolve around that expansion, then into 3 barracks star Polt. There's a nice timing in between the medivacs and a decent amount of units coming out that TLO could exploit.
Very true. Polt playing same straight-up style by the looks of it. Factory quite close there. I'd expect a reactor to come down momentarily as soon as he's got the gas, which will be right about now. And there it is. The swap around will come over. Straight up reactor Hellion once again. And Polt Scouts, pretty much the same thing from that. Is going to put on a little bit of fake bunker pressure here.
Yeah, and it's going to force drones to come down. A loss of mining time definitely incoming now for TLO. Has to micro these drones well. 4 Lings are coming, so he will be able to deal with this very easily. And he is also moving, well, actually does get the SCV now. One more little stab.
Eventually, just get him. Just get his legs. There you go. Unfortunately, yeah, Zerglings aren't equipped with bowlers. If they were, it would be absolutely fantastic, but I don't think they actually have long enough arms to throw them. It's unfortunate, and if that bunker actually goes up, that could be disastrous, and it's so close to going up. Oh, it got, oh, wow. That turned it from fake bunker pressure suddenly into, oh dear, this is a fairly bad situation, and that shouldn't have happened, but Polt defended that bunker really well.
Yeah, the SCV moving around really caught TLO off guard there, but it's okay. He still has the spine crawler. You've got to be careful not to throw it into the range, and especially with that overload as well. TLO, be careful. The spine crawler taking a bit of damage, but TLO does have scouting information of the natural that sees no expansion. He actually has to be careful about that overload on the natural area of Polt. He could actually lose it, but he does see the Hellions coming to back this up.
Always nice. Now, Polt would love to either take the Queen or the Spine Crawler here. There is the possibility of both. His control is excellent. He's popping in and out, in and out. This is absolutely excellent. If he takes that Spine Crawler, that'll be huge. Brilliant micro there, but unfortunately not quite there. The Hellions might be able to, though.
Wow.
They have come to see. That was some great control. And the Queen has got to go down here. Both of these could actually die. There you go, Queen down, and so close to killing the Spine as well.
He got the salvage as there was 2 HP left before it burned down. Hellions managed to pick off the Queen. Really efficient control there by TSL Polt, and he's going to go in for drones now. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 3 full health Hellions, and that Spinecrawler's not really in range to stop them. And TLO just piling them up right there to try and prevent as much damage, but it's having the opposite effect. Polt would love to get one more shot off. He does get it. 5 workers killed, certainly not as bad as it could be, and still an economic lead for TLO. The expansion is now done, however, for Polt, and he's going to add on those 2 more barracks, so he's still playing that straight-up style, but this time, TLO throwing a bit of a curveball at him. Roach Warren is on the way. Yeah, man,
he's going for the win. He's going for the speed upgrade. He'll start building those roaches immediately, and he's going to go for this roach ling all-in once again. He realizes that, again, Hellions have been lost. I can go for this, and if this works, TLO can pull off the win. But will it work here? And let's have a look what Polt's doing. He's gone for exactly the same style here again, gone for this 3 barracks play. The thing that Polt needs to do is not lose these Hellions, number 1. And as soon as he scouts the roaches, which should be in production, Polt can already see a bit of lava. You can see 3 lava that hasn't been used on the natural, and all of a sudden there are the 8 roaches. He will have the maximum amount of reaction time here, and he will have to throw down so many bunkers to defend this.
There's a Spinecrawler down, unfortunately. It was worn down very nicely by the little micro trickery of Polt earlier. The roaches are about to pop, and Polt is in a good position not to get killed by them either. That's the wonderful thing. If he was dedicated at that point, that would have been good.
He sees it now. He builds a bunker immediately, 2 bunkers, but the Lings are coming. The Ling speed is about to finish. Polt was in the middle of building 2 tech labs onto his barracks, and he actually built another bunker inside his main base, understanding that he could very well easily lose the natural, but Hellions do run by as a counterattack.
A little bit of damage done there, not a huge amount, and Roach is now coming to intercept that. The Lings now have their speed, and they're making their move, and this is it. It's pretty much all or nothing right now for TLO. He does have a lot of Roaches, and the Marauder count is only at 1. Well controlled, this could work very well. Goes to try and grab a surround, and slides past.
And I don't think TLO can fight up this ramp with the bunker there and units on the higher ground. TLO should be happy that the command center has been lifted up. But just go back to drone production, as we can see a Baneling nest is coming down. He could actually drone up for about 10 more drones and then go for a Ling bust. With Banelings, he does clean up the rest of those Hellions, so there's no control or anything for Polt in the center of the map. He only has his map vision here. What is TLO going to do? Is he just going to morph or more Banelings and just make nothing but Lings, understanding, again, his opponent is stuck on 1 base, or will he try to continue through the game now? But smelling this kind of victory could very easily start to produce a good amount of units to back this up.
It could, yeah. The siege tank tech is on its way, but there is actually no tank here for Polt as of yet because his gas is so limited, having lost that. Hello. What do we have here?
He's going to go for the bust. He's got 17 Banelings coming. He has 19 Roaches. So he's going to bust straight through the supply depot wall into the main base. And Polt is moving down. What a worst time.
That is not the time to do that. Let's see some target fire on 17 Banelings. Let's see how good Polt really is. He's about to find out. There goes the detonation. Polt is now supply blocked. Barracks falls under that as well. Roach is now moving in, and most of the Banelings have now detonated. It comes down to the Roaches and the follow-up of that. How well can TLO control this? How well can Polt control this? SCV's off the line. TLO looking really strong right now, and a couple of medivacs just to try and keep them alive. He's got to have some great control. He's losing a couple of Roaches here and there. Target fire's got to be good here by TLO, and Polt is going to hold this, and that is an absolutely fantastic hold there by him as well. Really, really great play, but he did also lose quite a few SCVs, 16 killed in total.
Yeah, he's only down to, well, he's down to 26 now, and that is not as bad as the last game, but the play from TLO in terms of the background, his economy is a lot stronger than the last game as well, as he's taken a 3rd base. He's gone for the double evolution chamber and layer once again. Another, well, I guess he cancelled that Baneling morph. He did, yeah. It's a pretty bad decision. I was about to explain that. It's a pretty bad decision to go Banelings here. Just pure Lings would be fine because Banelings without speed get kited and are just maneuvered around so easily. Yeah. But TLO doesn't want to take a fight. He wants to flank and counterattack this. So, I mean, he could just run to the natural right now and do so much damage. Taking a fight here is a little bit of an interesting decision. Yeah,
he ran past there, and it was unfortunate. He lost a few Lings here and there, but no, taking a fight there was basically suicide, especially against 4 medivacs. Wants to get out there with everything he's got. TLO rallying a couple of units, and that is not what he needs right now. Every edge that Polt can get, he will take it happily.
And 20 more Lings are coming, so there will be enough to push back this little maneuver here by Polt as Stim wears out once again. He's going to have more than enough here, TLO, and after this push, he's going to be able to build so many
Great
drones in an
fight.
amazing position for Polt, but too much here for TLO.
Yeah, he's managing to finally beat him back, though. The roach support is what makes the difference this time. He had that heavy support in the back, whereas he didn't in game one, where that kept happening to him over and over again. Polt's army just got bled out quite heavily there. TLO still does have an economic advantage, has taken a third now as well, and is looking really strong for the moment. But Polt nowhere near out of the game yet. You can have a look at what he's got. His production facilities, he's sitting on 4 barracks, he's got a starport and a factory, and tanks are starting to roll out.
And TLO changing his style this time. As you can see, it's not the melee upgrade, it's the missile upgrade this time around. So he's sticking on pure Roach Ling Baneling here, and as he establishes his third base up and running, that's when we'll see a flurry of units, but TLO's going to have to build those units now, because Polt is again pressuring that third base, not allowing TLO to really drone up sufficiently. And this is really nice play from Polt, because at the same time, he can always pick up and leave if things start to get messy.
Yeah, very much so. And +1 is about to kick in. This will be quite nice for TLO, just to at least get that +1 and start to batter his way through there. But you've got to bear in mind just how well these units actually trade with Medivacs against Roaches. Very slow damage. It's got to get Lings in the mix there as well to really make it work. And Polt is able to resist, simply due to those Medivacs, even with the upgrade.
Oh, TLO is going to lose his third base. He took a gamble by splitting his army up to go for a counterattack to the natural, which didn't work. And now Polt's been able to wear this Ling Roach army down, and new Roaches took him out. Will TLO? No, he will not save the expansion.
He had no queen there, no transfuse. He wasn't going to save that, unfortunately. And that was a really nice counterattack. That's put Polt right back in the game, no problems at all. His SCV count is really strong, and he's still got a big army as well. Actually, a very big army, and things are looking good for him, and he doesn't want to get caught out here with these Roaches. He needs to keep all of his units alive. He's going for an engagement against the Marines and no Medivacs. That's the most important thing here. Roaches will decimate this army without too much of a problem. The lack of Medivacs is absolutely crucial, but he is about to run into a second wave.
He is indeed, but it looks like Polt caught a little bit out of position here, so this little small army is going to get picked off really easy. But Polt, with again their heavy Medivac count against TLO, and without Lings, Roaches cannot run away. A nice target fire from Marauder, but look, even Marines are pretty good here.
At this point, I want to see Banelings. I really do, from TLO. He's got the speed upgrade. He should be using Banelings at this point. That's the best way to eliminate that. Quick pickup once again from Polt. So very good in terms of the control. And supply count-wise, TLO is really dropping badly now.
And Burrow is being researched here by TLO. Potential borrowed Banelings here. Ventral Sacks as well, an interesting decision, but here is the push out from Polt. He's been saving up his tank production, and now adding in tanks to the mix, this is going to get more difficult.
TLO cancels the Ventral Sacks there.
Oh, yeah, well, he realizes that, holy crap, his army's coming now. I can't afford to get Ventral Sacks, and all of a sudden, TLO is in a lot of trouble. This push, with tanks in the mix as well, it makes it so difficult. Overlords as well, Total Biscuit.
Yeah, Burrow's not ready yet either. That's worth it. He must delay this. He's got to hold it up. If he gets a good borrowed Baneling detonation, absolutely, he can turn this around. If he can't, he's going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble, which is why he's just kind of pulling TSL Polt around a little bit, moving in with a couple of Lings here and there, the threat of Banelings, and forcing Polt not to go for it. And in the meantime, he's taking a fourth behind that.
And TLO is playing a very swarm style. You know, he has lost a lot more in resources, but that's the way Zerg is meant to be played. But he doesn't have the economy to support the way it's meant to be played. So having half, well, actually looking at the units lost, Polt has lost half compared to TLO. But without the economy and being on the same economy basically as Polt, Polt is looking so good.
He really is. And the question is, can the Banelings make the difference? He hasn't borrowed anything just yet. That is pretty much going to end up being cancelled. If he goes to save that, I think that will be a bad idea. Baneling gets picked off there. The tanks are in great position to prevent that from happening. The priority needs to be save the third. And the scan goes down immediately. And maybe once that scan goes off, he can then borrow the Banelings and go with that. But he's going to try and crash in from the side here. But can he do the damage? More to the point, great target fire by Polt with the tanks. All the Banelings go pop. Very little damage done. Polt now getting more aggressive and going for this third base. And it looks like he's going to be able to take it at this rate. And there's the GG. And Polt comes back incredibly well in that game.
Indeed he does. And he takes the series 2-1. And TLO unfortunately out of the tournament, yet still showing decent games here. So
yeah, great games.
A lot more to look forward to with Mr. TLO in the near future as he travels to more tournaments, which I'm sure he's actually going to career very shortly also. So we'll have to follow his progress there. But on the other hand, Polt now is going, well, 2-0 in his group alongside Bling. Both of those guys have qualified as first and second, but we're going to be seeing who's going to go through as first and second in our next game.
Very much so, yeah. Polt versus Bling. Wow, Bling, an excellent PvT.